Good afternoon, class. Thank you for our discussions earlier before we start this video. I've seen that you have understand your previous lessons and you are ready to go on with our next lessons. For today's lesson, we will start in Unit 9, page 79 to 93. We will study two sections in this unit. And the first thing we're going to study about on our first video are tax. And on our second video, we will talk about trade competitions. Now, on to our subject for this first video. Our first video is about taxes. So what are taxes? Can you post something up on our Telegram page explaining to me what taxes are? And how do you pay taxes? And what are taxes used for? If you have some understanding about taxes already, you can post something up on our Telegram page explaining to me and our classmate what taxes are. And if you don't, let's start by opening our book to page 79. So can you please take out your book and turn to page 79. I have mine marked. Page 79 is in Unit 9. And our topic for today is taxes and trade competition. Okay, so what are taxes? Can you read the first paragraph in your book explaining what this book explains about taxes? If you want, I will read it for you right now so we all can have a better understanding of taxes. You can also read with me as I read on the first paragraph on page 79. Taxes, the meaning and importance of taxes. Taxes are money the government requires from people with income. So that there are money that people produce or get with work. So if you work or own some kind of property in Cambodia, you will have to pay taxes for the government. Taxes are the government income which will be used for the benefit of all. For example, to build schools and hospitals. So we know, according to our text, that taxes are money that the government collects from all its citizens, especially from workers and people who own properties. They have to pay taxes. Some taxes are collected yearly, some taxes are collected monthly, and later on we will learn about taxes that are taxed to the consumers. I mean, if you go to the store or buy any products, all those products have already included taxes in it. We will learn more about the taxes that's within our consumer products or by the government. So now we understand taxes. My second question to you is from the book on the top page. Do students have a duty to pay taxes? So for you as a student, do you pay taxes? Yes or no? You can post that answer up on our Telegram page explaining, do you pay taxes? Well, to answer that question would be a definitely yes. All citizens in each country have to pay taxes, including the students. When you, on your break time, when you go buy your sodas or buy your lunch for break, your soda is already included tax in it. So when you buy your sodas or your lunch, you are paying taxes because taxes is already included in those products. And those taxes goes to the government. My second question to you is, what are taxes used for? According to our text, taxes are collected by the government. They are used to help all the citizens. Especially, according to this book, they are used to build schools, hospitals, roads, and many other functions where it helps the community. So taxes are used for many things. Especially here in Cambodia, taxes are used to build roads. As you see, there are like bridges being built on the roads, and there are new stop signs being built. All those are money collected by the government to help its citizens to build new roads, new schools, new hospitals, and put stoplights all around the roads also. So taxes are used for many things within our government. Can you post something up? Give me an example of what are taxes used for. You can post it up on our Telegram page so all your classmates can see. Okay, on your reading on page 79, it explains more about taxes and the different type of taxes. I have listed 5 different forms of taxes here, or words to know that will help you understand through your readings. I will go over these taxes with you right now so you have a better understanding in your readings. Okay, the first word I have for you is tax. We already know what a tax is, right? As we have discussed earlier, a tax is a contribution to the state or government by its citizens. So every people inside Cambodia or any other country have to pay taxes, whether it is direct or indirect taxes. Now we're going to direct tax. A direct tax is taxes that you pay directly to the government. So what kind of taxes do you pay directly to the government? Do you pay or your family pay any direct taxes to the government? Do your family own any properties here in the city? And if they do, they will have to pay a direct tax, meaning they have to pay money to the government directly for that property. That is called a direct tax. What about indirect tax? Do you pay indirect tax as a student? Me as a consumer, yes, I pay indirect tax. And as a student, yes, you also pay indirect tax. That means tax when you buy your sodas for lunch, when you buy clothing at the clothes store, or when you buy books coming to schools or for your learning. You pay an indirect tax, meaning you pay to the service, the store, and the service until you take your tax and pays it to the government. That is called an indirect tax, where you don't have to pay directly to the government, but you pay it through a secondary person to the government. Okay, the other tax we're going to learn about is value added tax, also called the VAT, V-A-T. What is a value added tax? Can you explain to me what a value added tax is? Have any of you ever gone to Aeon Mall or Macro? If you have buy any products from Aeon Mall or Macro, you get a receipt back, right? And at the bottom of the receipt, it probably say, if you buy a product, it probably say value added tax or VAT is paid in a certain amount of percentage. The value added taxes are the taxes that are collected by the services. So that is taxes you pay to the store. For example, if you go to a Macro and buy some products at Macro, for example, this pen costs maybe 50 cents, right? But after you have buy the 50 cents product, the store has already included a VAT tax for their profits on these products. So yes, you are paying taxes for the store. That is what you call a VAT tax, where the store or the services already included their own tax on a product. For another example, if I own a store and I was selling books and pens, right? And I buy this pen for, just say, 25 cents, but I sell it for 75 cents. That extra 25 cents that I increase on this pen is the VAT. I mean, it is the extra money that I have increased on this pen. So that is my VAT. That is my value added tax. Okay? And our last word is Excises Tax. Excises Tax. What is an Excises Tax? Can you give me an example of a product here in Cambodia that have this tax on its product? If you say a car, you are correct, because an excises tax are taxes from abroad, meaning coming from another country, or a luxury goods. A luxury good means something that costs a lot. Anything that comes from another country or something that is luxury, meaning costs a lot of money, have an excises tax. For example, like our car we were talking about earlier. If you buy a car, because no car is made in Cambodia, right? It is made from different countries. And in order for that car to come to Cambodia and for us to buy that car, we have to pay an excises tax. Sometimes the taxes for a car is a lot, right? It's over like 100%. But those are taxes on luxury good. That is what you call an excises tax. Especially if this pen, if it's not made in Cambodia and it's made from a different country, we will also have to pay an excises tax. I mean, it's coming from a different country. It might not be as much as a car, but we will also have to pay some form of tax so the government can collect for this pen. Okay, class, I hope you have understand these 5 taxes on your book, and it will help you to read and understand this text. And after you read and understand this text, I will post the first task for you. On the first task, I will have a task in the book, and also I will have some some tasks that we'll post up on our Telegram page. Again, these tasks will have a lot of readings and a lot of answering questions. So you will be given like 40 minutes to complete this task. If you don't understand any of these words or need more explanation on taxes and what taxes are, please let me know and I will guide you through the words and understanding. Okay, class? For the first task, I will give you 40 minutes to complete. And after 40 minutes, I will post up our second video. See you then. Hello class, welcome back to our second video for today's lessons. On our first video we have talked about tax and what are taxes. And I've seen through your tasks that you have sent me, you have understand what taxes are, especially for the list of 5 taxes that we have studied about. So thank you for submitting your task on task 1. Now on to our second video. This video we will talk about trade competitions. So what is trade competitions? Do you see any trade competition here in Cambodia? Yes? No? When you go on the street, do you see, like, for example, a phone shop? One phone shop, but next to it, there are probably like 4 or 5 other phone shops that's connected to it, right? There are Oppo phone shop, Huawei and Samsung. There are a lot of different phone shops on the same street and on the same road. Why is that? You might ask. Well, because of that is called trade competitions, because all the phone shops that are close or next to each other are in competition for the customers, for they are competing against each other to have customers or to sell their products. Now on to our topic about trade competitions. We will read on page 82 in your book. Page 82 will talk about trade competitions, and when you read your text on page 82 and on 83, you will understand more about trade competition and why there are so many phone shops next to each other selling phones, or a lot of grocery stores, matter of fact, that are next to each other. That is because of trade competitions. They are competing each other for customers. And I have a list here of 4 words that will help you through your readings on page 82. These words are trade, competitions, demand, and decay. Okay, I will not write down this definition, but I will explain it to you. But I want you to write these words down in your notebook and also the definitions of this word, okay? After you have finished writing these words down in your notebook, please take a picture of it and send it to our page or to my personal Telegram, and I will correct these words for you. Okay, now let's go over these words. The first word is trade. What is trade? Trade is like when you go to a store, we bargain or we trade for our products. Trade is like when we exchange things. I have my money and you have a phone. So we exchange the money and the phone for the items. Just for example, if I go to a phone market and I want to buy a new phone. So for a trade in economy, I have to give them something of value for that phone, right? Usually money. So I give them my money and they will give me their phone. So that is what a trade, when we exchange things. And the word competitions. What is competitions? Competition, there are 2 or 3 different forms of competitions, but they all means the same thing. For example, I will use a different form of competition, like a race. Me and you and all the students are having a race, a run race. Who will reach to that end point first? That is competition, where we having a race. Who will be the winner? Who will come second or who will come third? That is a competition. But in a trade competition, like our example on the phone shop, there are like 5 phone shops in one street. All of them are in a competition to sell their products. I mean, they all are in a race to sell their product, to see who sells the most products, who make the most money, and who will succeed more. Correct? Okay, our third word here is demand. The word demand means when somebody wants something. For example, when we go to school, we are demanded from students that each student bring their books, dress properly, and be ready to study. So demand means I want you to bring your books and dress properly. So I demand that you'll be ready for school. The word demand means when somebody wants and needs something. Okay? And our fourth word here is decay. What is the word decay? Can you tell me? From reading your text, also can you explain to me what decay is? If you say decay is something that is rotten or dying, you are correct. Like our example, I used like on a previous video, we have a mango. And mangoes and certain fruits only have a certain time period of life, right? After maybe 3 or 4 days, the mango will rot and starting to smell, it goes bad, right? Well, when it starts to smell bad and rot, that is what you call decay. Decay means when things are dying and smelling bad. Okay, class, I want you to write these 4 words down in your notebook, including its meaning. You can get this meaning from your text from reading the book. You can write it, the meanings in your own words, so I will understand or see if you know what these words mean. Okay, after this video is played, I will post you your task 2. Actually, your task 2 is on page 83. On page 83, at the bottom of your book, questions 1 through 5. I want you to answer these questions from 1 to 5. But do not just answer a yes or no questions. I want you to explain your answers, okay? So don't just give me a yes or no. I want you to explain why this happened. For example, like question number 1. What are the characteristics of trade competitions? So I want you to give me an in-depth answer of why, or what is the characteristics of a trade competition? Why is it important for trade competitions? And I want you to answer all the same from question 1 to 5 with your complete thoughts and complete answers. For this task, I will give you 30 minutes to complete because it will only have 5 questions and your answers should be in your own words. Okay, class? Till we see each other again on our 3rd video. Hello class, welcome back to our 3rd and final videos. Thank you for submitting me your 2nd task. Also, you have did a wonderful job on your task. And I've seen that you have understand what taxes are for your 1st video and trade competition. Yes, trade competitions are good for business because if you don't have trade competitions, then the price or the values, as you explained, will drop and go down. I mean, the price will go up and you have to spend more on a product. But if there are a lot of phone shops, like we had explained earlier, next to each other, then the price will drop down lower because of trade competition. If there are 4 phone shops next to each other, one might sell the price of the phone a little lower than the other, right? So all customers will go to that lower price so they can buy a cheaper phone. But if there are many phone shops, you can shop around and find which one's the best price, and for the phone shops, they will have competing price. So that means they will set their price a little lower than the other stores so you can buy that phone. That is why a trade competition is really good for us. And on our 1st video, we also talked about taxes and the many forms of taxes, like the indirect taxes, the direct taxes, and the VAT. And through our conversation, I've seen that you have understand what all these taxes are, especially the Excises Tax. Taxes on luxury goods like buying a car or any product that's coming from abroad, meaning coming from a different country. We have to pay an Excises Tax. And we also discussed about why taxes are good for the communities. Because for some communities, taxes can be used to build roads, schools, and hospitals, and also help your inner community for a better living. So taxes and trade competition, as we have learned, are good for us. But sometimes taxes can be really expensive, but in the overall picture, it will benefit all of us as a community within a country. Okay, class, after this video is played, I will drop you your homework. And remember, homework is due before next week's class. So it is important for you to submit me your homework before we start next week. Okay, class, till we see each other again next week, goodbye and be safe.